Good afternoon and welcome to Myreside on the opening weekend of the FOSROC Suer6 Sprint Series. Last night we saw the Ayrshire Bulls get off to the best possible start with a 24-17 victory over Boroughmuir Bears, and later this afternoon we have coverage of Heriot Rugby versus the Southern Knights from Golden Acre. But who will come out the blocks fastest at Myreside as Watsonians Rugby take on Stirling County. These sides met in the third place playoff last October at the end of the regular season, with Watsonians edging that one 21 points to 19 as they held off a late Stirling comeback. And although both squads have changed considerably in the off-season, we can certainly expect a closely fought battle this afternoon. Dale Clancy is alongside me in commentary this afternoon, and I mentioned there that both sides or both squads have seen lots of changes. It's really hard to know how these sides will fare, even for the coaches, I guess.
Yeah, I think that there's been many a change for all the teams in the Super6 this season, and I think maybe out the both, maybe Watsonians are a little bit more cohesive in terms of the squad they've got. You can see on social media all the players that they're welcoming back, but you know, there's so many different battles within these two squads. It's especially like the DG Ennis and Joe Reynolds playing against each other. They were teammates not that long ago in the Premiership final, so I think that's the beauty of what Super6 does. It throws up these different angles, and it is difficult to try and predict who's going to be the strongest team. And you know, you alluded to it before, it is a sprint. They'll both be looking to get out the blocks, but Watsonians have home advantage, so it's going to be difficult for Stirling, but it's going to be a really interesting game.
Yes, there are only 5 games. They play each other once before the league split, and then there'll be 3 more games. So you know, they don't even have time to ease themselves into the season. They really have to aim to get a win straight off.
Yeah, and I think at this level, you know, semi-professional rugby, we've got a lot of promising talent going up the way, and we've also got the pros, you know, coming down and helping try and nurture the next generation. And that's true to be said with the coaches as well, like Fergus Pringle and Ben Cairns. You know, they are wanting to make sure that they can show the rest of Scotland and the wider audience that they are coaches that are able to get the best out of a group of players, make them cohesive and stick to a game plan. And it's going to be interesting to see how this game pans out, because you know, Watsonians have got a really, really big pack. In Stirling County, I've got a lot of flair in behind that scrum, so you know, it's going to be a complementary of, you know, the styles are going to be interesting to see and see how it unfolds.
You've just touched on it there, and we'll have a look at the team sheets just very shortly, but where do you see the difference between the sides today?
I'll tell you what, looking at the team sheet, there's one particular player I can see who stands out, and it's Jason Baggett for 10 for Watsonians. I think he's a great acquisition for Watsonians because he's coming from Southern Knights. He's played a lot of Edinburgh rugby, and he's got that experience that I think all clubs are crying out for at this level. They've been able to get him. They've got Jamie Forbes on the bench as well, so they've got 2 excellent playmakers. Jamie Forbes has been playing really, really well in the Premiership for Curry. Unlucky to miss the Premiership final against Mar due to illness, but I think the halfbacks for both teams, Finlay Burgess coming in for Stirling County from Glasgow Hawks, he's partnering Ewan Cunningham. So there's a lot of different aspects to the game, but I think the halfback battle will be really key. And
2 wingers released by Glasgow Warriors this week that will feature in the Stirling County lineup. One starting in the shape of Ratu Tagive, and then Walter Fafita to come off the bench. That could be those of you who watched Scotland against Tonga in the Autumn Internationals will remember Walter Fafita using Darcy Graham as a bit of a speed bump.
Yeah, I think that's probably the biggest mismatch in world rugby with Fafita and Darcy Graham. But you know, you look at that, it's the experience that they bring from that professional environment, and you know, let's not like kind of gloss over it. This is where the players are looking to push on and be professionals and represent their country, you know, and make a career out of playing rugby. And these are the challenges that they want to be looking at. Ryan Daly and Loman McPherson on the wing for Watsonians are going to have their hands full all day if these two get their hands on the ball.
Well, let's take the chance to look through the team sheets now. And Watsonians, they have a number of players unavailable this week, and they've had to call in some backup players, but they still look strong in key areas. And you mentioned already 3 players signed from the Southern Knights who will feature today. So at 1, Sean Gunn, who's one of those Southern Knights players, Carl Davis, the captain, 29-year-old hooker, and Gregor Skugel, a debutant and a Scotland under-20 player this year. In the second row, Lewis Ball and Quagga van Nieuwkerk, who qualifies to play for Scotland through a grandparent. And then in the back row, vice-captain Seb Cecil, Harry Fisher, and another of the players from the Southern Knights, 33-year-old vastly experienced Ian Moody. Half-back pairing of Rowan Frostwick and Jason Baggett, another of the vice-captains, South African, and the third player signed from Southern Knights this year. Centre pairing of Joe Reynolds, the New Zealander, alongside Angus Guthrie. On the wings, Ryan Daly, another debutant, former George Watson's student, and Lomond McPherson, and the South African Dominic Coetzer at fullback. On the bench, Campbell Wilson, 2 FOSROC Academy players in the shape of Cole Emery and Kieran Ramsey. Kieran Watt and Carol Main cover the back 5 of the scrum. And then covering the backs, Rory Brand and Murray Scott, both scrum halves. So I think just Watsonians forced into that because of the shortage of players this week. And Jamie Forbes. For Stirling County, well, they've seen several changes to their squad since last season, and 11 players will make their debut for County this afternoon. As it's a young squad, contains 7 under-20s, but it's bolstered by the 2 Glasgow Warriors wingers who were released to play this week. In the front row for County, 20-year-old Cameron McMillan is alongside Angus Fraser and Lewis Skinner. Another former Scotland under-20 cap this year and last, 19-year-old Max Williamson, is alongside the much more experienced Adam Sinclair. 29 years old now, former Scotland under-20 player, has spent the last few seasons in Edinburgh playing for Heriots, but has returned to his roots at Stirling County. In the back row, a late change, Connor Gordon, the co-captain, has had to pull out and he's replaced by Gregor Hiddleston. Originates from Dumfries, another Scotland under-20 player this year, and he's alongside Hamish Ferguson and Callum Cruikshank. A very young half-back pairing of Finlay Burgess and Ewan Cunningham. Centre pairing of DJ Innes and Ben Salmon, who trained with the Scotland under-20s. On the wings, Logan Trotter and Ratu Tagive, the Australian winger, and the co-captain Marcus Holden, New Zealander, at fullback for Stirling County. A change on the bench, Gregor Hiddleston moving into the starting lineup. He's replaced by Harris McLeod, alongside George Breeze, Callum Norrie, James Pow, George Arnott, and then Harry Russell, one of Finn Russell's brothers, who spent a lot of his time playing at Falkirk, one of 2 Russells in the squad this year. Archie not featuring today, but is also in the Stirling County squad. Craig Jardine, and the man who can make a real difference when he comes off the bench, that's Walter Fafita, Tongan international. He's about 6'5", 118 kilos. And I say, when they would bring him on, whoever he is up against, I guess will not be looking forward to that one, Dale.
No, definitely not. But then this is the arena that you test yourselves in, and both teams will be well addressed and know exactly what they need to do. And there's a player, Lewis Berg, who's obviously not in the squad here this afternoon. A player of vast experience. It would be relish in such an occasion. But when these players come off the bench, it's a game. This level, it's a game where you have to use the squad. So all 23 players in both squads will be used to their full effect here this afternoon.
Well, just waiting on the players coming out. Lewis Berg, you mentioned there, perhaps running the water. I see the officials standing in the tunnel. And here come the visitors, Stirling County. Led out by their captain Marcus Holden, the fullback. As I mentioned when we went through the team sheets, Connor Gordon, the co-captain, has had to pull out the open side flanker. Big Adam Sinclair there with the 5 jersey on his back for Stirling County. Just waiting on the home side. And here they come, led by their captain hooker Carl Davis, 29-year-old. Ian Moody bringing up the rear there. Signed from the Southern Knights in the summer. Then there will be a 1-minute applause for Tom Smith. The players lining up on the 15-metre line.
And he played for Green, and I can really pay him no higher compliment than what Serene McGeehan said about him when he said Tom Smith is simply the best Scottish international player of the professional era.
a minute's applause there for Tom Smith, who sadly passed away last week. Referee Holly Davidson in shot there, assisted today by Johnny Perriam and Brian McGuff. Quick word there with Jason Baggett, so it looks like it will be Watsonians to kick off, playing from left to right as we watch from our commentary position.
Captain! Good.
So Baggett, the vice captain. Davidson blows in the whistle to start the game here at Myreside. And not the best of starts there for Stirling County, unable to gather the kick-off. So it's early possession to Watsonians just outside the Stirling County 22. Quagga van Niekerk, the big South African, takes it into contact, then out to Baggett. Good defence there by Stirling County. Marcus Holden, the captain, involved. They had stripped the ball there, Stirling County, and were looking to race away up the stand-side touchline, but referee Holly Davidson was playing an advantage for the knock-on from the restart's a great attacking opportunity here for Watsonians.
Yeah, great kick-off on the money from Baggett, and it just wasn't gathered by Williamson, and just let it roll down his chest, and a good kick chase from Watsonians. A great start after 10 seconds to put your opposition under pressure, and good kick chase there, and it gives them a great attacking platform here. They've got still a bit of width on the right hand side, but also on the left where all their backs are lining up. They can try and test this Stirling County defence early on.
Rowan Frostwick, the man who will feed the scrum here for Watsonians.
Crouch!
Ian Moody at the base, vastly experienced.
Blind.
Option for him to pick and go blind.
Set!
A good scrum there for Watsonians. The referee playing an advantage. Moody just picks up, but the referee had already blown for a penalty.
One not driving straight.
Not driving straight there. You saw actually that Stirling County looked like they'd got up on the loose head side, but illegally so. As the scrum wheeled, Moody looked to pick it up, but the referee has blown for penalty and perhaps first chance to kick and get some points on the board. Yeah,
I think that's an early tester for Stirling County there. Watsonians have flexed their muscles in the scrum, and apart from Cal Davis, really, they're a very young front row. So it's it'll do their confidence no ill effects by managing to get one up on the opposition early on, and it again gets them closer towards that Stirling County line in a couple of minutes, and Stirling County have been on the ropes in the opening stages.
They've actually opted to kick for the corner. So they're a line out about 6 metres out from the Stirling County line. It'll be Cal Davis, the Watsonians captain, to throw in, taken well in the middle there by Ball. The Watsonians look to get this maul driving towards, and it is Davis that's got the ball in his hands, but brought down 2 or 3 metres short. Out it goes then from Frostwick. And out through the hands of Baggett. He's thrown an intercept pass here, and away go Stirling County. Ratu Tagive, I think, was probably gone, but the referee was playing an advantage there. And we'll come back for another penalty to Watsonians. Yeah, Baggett could roll the dice there because they knew the advantage was coming, but I wouldn't fancy my chances trying to chase Tagive back from his own 5 metre line. So it's a little bit of a let off for Watsonians, but smart rugby. They're playing in the right areas, and they're just trying to keep the pressure on Stirling. So another line out from exactly the same spot as we had one a moment or two ago. Cal Davis again to throw in. I expect the Watsonians will look to do the same. Moody was the target at the front, but it's gone right over the top of him. Just a bit of a timing issue there between the hooker and his jumper. It's through in slightly too quick. Ball lost there by Watsonians, so a wasted opportunity. Yeah, and it's the second occasion Max Williamson's got the ball in his hands, and it's managed just to kind of squirm away from him. So he's obviously, maybe not at the races so far, but he'll start to grow into the game. I've been really impressed with him in the last Suer6 campaign. So I think that blend in the second row of Sinclair and Williamson will be a really good combination for Stirling, but just not being able to find his targets early on. Williamson, Scotland under 20 cap this year and last year, still only 19 years old.
Crouch!
Let's see how Stirling County fare at scrum time. Finlay Burgess, another youngster, 18, to feed in.
Set! Yes, use it.
Solid scrum there by Stirling County, picked up the base by Callum Cruikshank. Just feeds it on to inside centre DJ Innes. Apologies, we've got a break-up in picture here.
9, use it. Yeah, onside.
And back to the action we go. Finlay Burgess.
It's not.
Clearing kick there.
Not for
And
me.
gets Stirling County just outside their 22.
Winger, 11.
It must have been
Just
a
make
powerful
sure you're
carry
onside
from
and kick.
DJ Ennis to distort the picture, because it was a good exit strategy from Stirling. Just, you know, going and using their strike runners well. Get the ball into the hands of your inside centre, like DJ Ennis. He's not the most,
I know.
he's not the biggest player, but he's really robust and aggressive when he takes the ball up. So was able to just get them into the right area so they can exit play.
Ball.
Well, the line out better this time. Found the same target as last time. Ian Moody and Watsonians get that driving maul moving forward with a bit of pace now, gathering momentum as it moves towards that Stirling County try line. The ball under the control of Carl Davis, the hooker. Rowan Frostwick is digging for it there. Tries to release it and he'll look for Baggett. Well, in fact, no. Finds the winger, Lohan McPherson, coming off his right wing, looking for work there, and then popped to open side Harry Fisher, driving towards the Stirling County line. A good hard charge there by Watsonians. They have gone over for the first try of the game with only 5 minutes on the clock. And it's the big second row.
That was a good build-up play there from Watsonians. They were trying to keep the tempo high and get the ball through the hands of the players and just play just a little bit further out from the contact area. And you can see there Seb Cecil just hitting that really nice angle, just coming back with the drift defence going across from Stirling, just wrong foots them, and he's able to squeeze in for a try. Excellent tempo and aggression from Watsonians in these early stages.
Yeah, Seb Cecil, vice captain, and the blindside flanker ran a great line, very hard. Almost impossible to stop from that range, and the best possible start for Watsonians. It took them 2 or 3 attempts with lineouts 5 metres out from that Stirling County line, but they eventually managed to get themselves in sync between Carl Davis and Ian Moody, and then a great drive which made 10 or 12 yards, and eventually just through 2 or 3 phases, Rowan Frostwick marshalling his forwards well. And eventually Seb Cecil going over. And apologies again for the loss of pictures. Still Watsonians 7, Stirling County 0 after 8 minutes of this one. And scrum right on centre spot, that will be Stirling County. And Finlay Burgess, the young scrum half. So again, options both ways here for Stirling County.
Yeah, able to split the field and try and stretch Watsonians. It will be their first opportunity to get a real attack in this game. They've spent the opening 7.5 minutes or so without much ball in hand, so it does give them a good platform to try and manage the game a little bit better, because it has been Watsonians in these early stages.
That'll be picked up at the base by Cruikshank. Reads Burgess change of direction back towards the left touchline. Just a pod of forwards coming around for Stirling County, met with stiff resistance by the Watsonians defence. Make a bit more ground there and get some quicker ball to play with now, and then just zigzagging back and forward between the 2 forward pods, inching their way up towards that Watsonians 10 metre line. And now they try and get the ball into the wide spaces. You can see what they're trying to do. They'll try and get it into the hands of Ratu Tagive every opportunity that they get. He's dealt with well by the Watsonians defence. Out it comes again from Burgess.
Stay down.
And a little look to the right just to see if Tagive was perhaps in space. Nice little tip on there, and great hands by Stirling County. Difficult pass to take, and again they'll try and go wide. That was a hint of an intercept there for Baggett, but he couldn't hold on to that, and the referee will come back.
Honestly,
Ollie Davidson, knock on there by Baggett, but that would have been dangerous if he'd got his hands on that one.
Yeah, definitely. He just read it and tried to just pop out the line and grab it before it got into the hands of Holden, but it just not able to judge the flight of the ball and grab it. It was passed with some zip as well, but it was a great pick up initially from Max Williamson. He charged to the line. He's obviously had a nervy opening stage to this game, 2 handling errors, but he was able to pluck that one off his toes and set up a bit more momentum for Stirling County, and slowly but surely it's taken them 2 minutes, but they've got 10 metres on the field of play. They've been able to squeeze play towards the Watsonians line, so slowly but surely they're starting to get into this game.
The Stirling County backline strung away across to the right. Again, I do wonder if they will try and get the ball into the wide channels into Ratu Tagive.
Okay. Guys,
The difference between the sides so far. That Seb Cecil try after 5 minutes, converted by Jason Baggett. We've seen very little of Stirling County so far as an attacking force. It's a good position for the scrum, just 15 metres in from the left touch line. Again, Finlay Burgess feed the scrum here. He's got Callum Cruikshank at number 8.
Crouch! Bind! Set!
Good scrum again by Stirling County. Away it goes out into the midfield, where Stirling County just crash it up there through DJ Innes. And again the forwards wrapping round the corner, but that's been stripped by Watsonians, and away goes Cecil, the try scorer.
Inside.
And then they book the ball as Rowan Frostock just bangs it off downfield, down into that Stirling County 22. Again, apologies for the loss of pictures here at Myreside.
Come on here.
They'll come back again. Deja vu, Stirling County scrum. A little bit further away than it was last time. Finlay Burgess standing again with ball in hand. Ollie Davidson just having to sort out the 2 front rows here. We've had 2 or 3 scrum resets already.
Yeah, she's an exceptional referee. It's great to see, you know, the change in the way things have been done in the last few years. We've got Holly Davidson is perhaps one of, if not the best Scottish referee, and it's you know, she commands so much respect when she's out in the park, and you know, those six guys in the front row for each team are, you know, they certainly they pay a lot of respect and get told how to play, how to scrum.
Former Murrayfield Wanderers scrum half herself.
Set!
A shoulder injury brought her playing career to an end. Fantastic addition to the Scottish refereeing scene. A free kick at the scrum there, awarded to Watsonians. And Jason Baggett, just have a quick look around, looking for I'll say some instruction. He's the vice captain. I'm sure he just made his mind up there. He looked up the left-hand touchline and just glanced across. That's a fantastic kick across into the right. However, he puts his hand in the air, that one, because it was a free kick, of course, had to stay in the field of play. I'm not sure if he didn't realise that or if he just got too much on it. But either way, a mistake there by Jason. So it's scrum time again. Back to the action, it's Watsonians and Baggett getting a bit of a muddle there with his forwards, and that's resulting in a couple of loose passes hacked off downfield by Stirling County. That all came from
Push off the ball.
Baggett's forwards. The forward pod, he was trying to pass it through between the forwards, I think, and get it out to the back line, and the forwards just getting themselves in the way, not quite sure what was happening there, but the referee was playing an advantage and will come back for a penalty to Watsonians.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they do from this penalty. It's obviously, as we say, it's a sprint and you need to be winning games, so I think it's going to be interesting to see if they do opt to go for the sticks or for the corner, and Baggett certainly looks like he's shaping up to go for the corner, and I think already in this game you can see the influence that he has on the back division. He's a very cool, calm and collected fly half, so he's able to distribute well, maybe not as perfectly on that occasion, but he's just got that experience and that awareness, so he's going to be a really important player for Watsonians this season.
He seems to have been around for a long time. He's still only 26, spent time at Melrose and then was involved with Edinburgh as a pro, came back down to play for the Southern Knights and now up at Watsonians, and as you say, he'll be a fantastic addition to the capital side. So throw into the line out again for Watsonians, just inside that Stirling County 22, and Carl Davis once again gets a hold of that ball at the back of that driving line out. He already had some success with this. That's where the first try came from. I mean, stopped a little bit shorter this time, but away goes Moody, tries to get the hand free and offload it. There's a loose one, goes to deck, and in fact was knocked on. Stirling County hands all over that. I think they were probably going to turn it over anyway, but another wasted opportunity from Watsonians.
Yeah, just the ball trundling down the back of his teammate there, Gregor Skugel, as he tried to get the one-armed offload in. And Ian Moody, again, another great addition to the Watsonians pack. He comes with a lot of experience. Berwick, Kelso, Melrose, he's been, he's spent a lot of time in the borders playing rugby, so now gets a crack to play in the city for Watsonians. But just on that occasion, not being accurate enough with the offload, but that's the sort of thing he does do. He's a big ball carrier, he's very pacey and rangy, and he can create these spaces and these gaps for his teammates. So just on that occasion, just the execution was just a little bit amiss there for Moody.
Stirling County paying back in their 22, that will be their put into the scrum. Finlay Burgess again, waiting patiently as the scrums, I think we might get it at the first time of asking this time. It's back to the feet of Callum Cruikshank, who picks up there and just makes a metre or two forward. That's been offloaded there. Stirling County try and make another couple of metres. Watsonians attempting to hold them up there. Stirling County happy to play very close to their own goal line, and solid defence there by Watsonians has dislodged that ball. It's always dangerous playing quite so close to your try line, and Carl Davis has come up with it, the Watsonians captain again. Good quick ball, and away there goes Rowan Frostwick, just takes a couple of steps and draws the defence onto him. County in there trying to fight for the ball. Frostwick again he looked like he was waiting for forwards, but he finds his half-back partner in Jason Baggett. He didn't have a lot of options there, had to take it into contact. Now the forwards get it. Nice little tip on there to Quagga van Niekerk. Good defence so far by Stirling County. Skip pass thrown out there. And again, appeals from Stirling County at the breakdown. Again, get hands on it. They got very close on a couple of occasions, but on that time they did manage to get hands on the ball and win themselves a turnover penalty.
Just a little bit flat in attack there. Watsonians are maybe just getting too close to that defensive line. You could see when Baggett got the ball in his hands, he had options, but everybody was just a bit too flat. He then had to take it himself, and the momentum in that phase of play just completely is lost. And you could see there, Stirling County are jackling really well when they get the opportunity. When the one-on-one tackles made, they're jackling well, but they don't find touch.
No, Logan Trutter, I think, was the man taking the kick there. Didn't quite go into touch in that stand-side touchline, so it's Watsonians again. No respite for this Stirling County defence. They approach the midway point in the first half. Still Watsonians leading 7 points to 0. And there goes Baggett, fights his way forward. Good work again, Stirling County trying to get hands. You can see they're attacking every single breakdown. Ron Frostwick again, out it goes to Baggett, puts boot to ball, and that will bounce in the 22. It's going to find grass, it just depends where it bounces. It runs into touch, evades everybody as Cecil was on hand looking for his second. Yeah, that was a good break by Guthrie, who was able to fight and stay tall and get some extra yards until the cavalry arrived. They came and supported, and then it just allowed Baggett to size up his options, and it was a better executed kick on that occasion than his earlier free kick. But it just shows you that just keeping pressure on Stirling County, keep them down in this area of the field and let them try and fight out or force the errors, and then they can pick up points. Angus Fraser then to throw into the defensive line out here, just 5 metres from the Stirling County try line. Adam Sinclair has one option in the middle. Well, Sinclair moves to the back, and it goes instead to Max Williamson, his second row partner. Stirling County get this one moving forward. Just put that Watsonians defence on the back foot. Finlay Burgess, he's got his hands on the ball. Just whether he kicks it himself, he looks around for Ewan Cunningham. In fact, he finds the forwards. Again, that Watsonians defence up fast, not giving Stirling County any space to breathe whatsoever. This time they will have to put boot to ball, and it will be Burgess who takes on the kicking duties himself. Catches that one well and finds a good touch just up towards the Stirling County 10-metre line. Yeah,
it's a relatively still day at Myreside, so it's the box kick. It's a great attacking option, even if you're kicking from your own 22. But the option there was just to try and find the touchline, get it out, and not just force Watsonians to throw back into the line out. But you know, Stirling, although they've not been in the game, they've defended well. They've fought well on the floor. Their scrum's holding up pretty well. And you know, of the balance of play, 20 minutes gone, it's been all Watsonians, but still only 7-0.
Yes, stay there too, Angus.
Yes, that's Seb Cecil try. 5 minutes into the game, and it goes again from Davis, and once again Ian Moody is the intended target. Again, a little bit of indecision in the attack there for Watsonians, but no indecision at all from Baggett as he charged forward, and now the hooker Carl Davis clatters into contact once again. Stirling County get hands on that ball, almost forced the turnover, blasting the whistle from referee Holly Davidson.
Good play from Carl Davis, just keeping tall, but you can see DG Ennis releases the attacking player, fights for the ball as well, and you can see the Watsonians had to work really hard to try and get that ball back, but they had the advantage, and I think Baggett perhaps is going to have a little pop at the sticks here.
That's an interesting decision because they've had penalties already where they've opted to kick for the corner. You mentioned, you know, it's a sprint, everybody will want to win every game, but is that a bit of a victory of sorts for the Stirling County defence?
I think the first 2 minutes Stirling County looked a little bit shaky. They had a handling error, they got dominated in the scrum in the opening 2 minutes, and I think Watsonians perhaps noticed that and thought, look, we could probably try and turn the screw early on, chalk up quite a big score and put them under pressure. But Stirling have galvanised. They've actually defended really well, as we've just said. They've fought well on the floor, and I think this is probably more of a sign that Watsonians think this game perhaps isn't going to be as comfortable as they first thought in the opening couple of minutes.
So Jason Baggett tasked with extending the Watsonians lead out to 10 points. On the right side for him, it's about 15 metres in from the stand side touchline. Certainly catches it well, and the two assistant referees have a quick glance at each other, and up go the flags. Johnny Perriam and Brian McGuff. It's Watsonians 10, Stirling County 0 with 22.5 minutes played.
Yeah, you know, it's an old cliche in rugby to keep the scoreboard ticking over, but it's perhaps what Watsonians haven't really been able to do for the last 20 minutes, or 16 minutes should I say, because they got the try on 6 minutes and they've had incessant pressure since then, and they've had opportunities that they've passed up. But the 3 points there from Baggett will, you know, be another sighter and an indication to Stirling County as to what that 10 is able to do with this Watsonians team.
A great restart there by Ewan Cunningham, put it high enough to give Ratu Tagiwe time to get underneath it. But Watsonians have turned that one over again, so Stirling County just cannot get any time with the ball in their hands, and away down that right touchline go Watsonians, supporting inside there from Frostwick. Good charge initially by Harry Fisher down the 5 metre channel on the right wing, and then Watsonians look to get the ball wide quickly, but Joe Reynolds can't take the pass there from Jason Baggett. The referee again was playing an advantage, so Stirling County just managing to get through a couple of phases at the other end of the pitch, lose the ball, and suddenly they find themselves defending just outside their 22 yet again.
Yeah, just a handling error from Reynolds there. With the ball from Baggett was a little bit slow and a little bit low in terms of being able to gather that, but you can see the back row. We've already had a try scorer, Cecil, getting the first score, but Harry Fisher is a really exciting player, still really young, but he burst onto the scene years ago. I remember when he was playing sevens as a 17-year-old for Watsonians. He was a very promising player, so you can see what he brings. He gets himself in the open spaces on the wing, and he just ate up the ground and was able to keep the ball alive.
And of course the modern game, you look to get your back row, your wingers out in the 15 metre channel. You've got the big forwards in their pods in the middle of the pitch, and it opens up so many more opportunities for guys like that have got sevens experience to show what they can do. Definitely,
I think they'll need their back row on the wings later on if Fafita gets on anyway, because I think maybe on a defensive point of view they'll maybe need a little bit more protection.
Walter Fafita, the big Tongan international, who I'm sure we will see early in the second half for Stirling County. So Baggett once again looking for his second penalty in the space of a couple of minutes. Once again strikes that well, and up go the flags, and the Watsonians lead is now 13.
I think on the balance of play, 13-0 is probably quite a fair reflection on this game. Watsonians haven't been wholly accurate with everything that they've done, but they've taken the few opportunities when they have presented them, so they've taken them quite well. But Stirling County they'll be really downhearted in terms of their errors. They've had a lot of handling errors, got really flat, coughed up the ball cheaply. So if they're going to find a way back into this game, they're going to need to protect that pill a little bit better.
Longer kick there by Cunningham, and gathered inside the Watsonians 22.
Yeah. Hold.
Stirling County defence will get a chance to put some pressure on here as it goes out to Cecil.
Yep, inside.
Big blind side. The black headband
use
on.
it.
It's a slow ball here for Watsonians. It looks like Frostwick will take the kick himself. Now it's been charged down by Stirling County. It's just about what way this ball bounces. It's been gathered up there by Baggett. He's got Stirling County players all over him. And once again, a great turnover there by Stirling County, this time at the right end of the pitch for them. Holly Davidson awards the penalty to Stirling County, and the first real opportunity for them now in the danger zone.
That was exactly it, Bruce, because it was a quick tap as well, so they're wanting this try.
They're only a metre or so away, and flooding round the corner, space out on that left wing. This could be the first try of the day for Stirling County now. He has touched down the left winger there, Logan Trotter. However, the flag, I think, has gone up and the try will not be awarded. Great attack there by Stirling County.
Do you have a number?
I think they've missed out on points.
Yeah, it was almost going to be like the perfect try.
Okay.
The long kick,
There's gonna be
put
no
pressure
try,
on
there's gonna be
Watsonians.
offside.
They then hound them at the breakdown. They get the ball and try and go quickly, and Trotter, I think, just did, ironically, get a Trotter in touch as he was trying to dot down in the corner.
Very good, Dale.
3.
And the referee was playing an advantage, so it's still a penalty to Stirling County. They took the quick one last time and really did catch Watsonians napping. And very nearly got themselves on the scoreboard. They've kicked to the corner here, so let's see what their driving maul can do. Big Adam Sinclair in shot again there. Gregor Hiddleston, a late addition to the starting team off the bench after losing their captain Connor Gordon, standing there at the line out, the 6+1 line out. Not done cleanly though, but fortunately for Stirling County it does come back in their hands. And Logan Trotter, who almost scored a moment or two ago, getting involved in the action. That was a huge hit there by Watsonians as they defend their line and hold on to that 13 points advantage. Stirling County is playing through the forwards right in front of the post. A little pop on there against Watsonians, throwing themselves into everything. Lewis ball there, and now they'll go wide. Ratu Tagivi lurking out there on the right wing, has to come in though and secure possession. Watsonians have just pushed Stirling County back a metre or two. Another big charge by the Stirling County forwards. Adam Sinclair getting hands on the ball now. He's landed a bit awkwardly there. He's going to have to work to get this ball back on the Stirling County side. Does well as his second half partner Max Williamson now. And will Stirling County try and go wide here? Well, number 8 Cruikshank has got himself very close to the line, can't quite get the ball down. The presence of mind to turn round and present it back. Ratu Tagivi popping up
Back foot.
on the left wing now. And again, Finlay Burgess looking for his options there and just pops it off to the forwards.
Back 6.
Good ball retention here by Stirling County, but equally good defence for now by Watsonians. Burgess again, well, he steps back and he's going to ask the forwards to pick and go. It's Sinclair with hands on the ball. He's stopped again, just short.
Okay, use it.
Great opportunity here for Stirling County, being asked to use it by the referee there. Now, they have got themselves over the line. Great work there by Stirling County, went through several phases to get there. And it's young second row Max Williamson, Scotland under 20 cap, who gets himself over for Stirling County's first try. And they get themselves into the game. It's taken them 28 minutes. But they're now on the scoreboard.
Yeah, and a lot better from Stirling County. It was the first time in this whole half that we've been able to see Stirling County with the ball in hand, and they were being very, very pragmatic about their approach. They were using their big runners, but you can see there Williamson just loitering out towards the wider fringes of that ruck, and they're hitting the 13 and the 10. The backs forward against a couple of backs, and the rangy second row was able to go over. And after what was a bit of a ropey start for the big man, he's certainly found his strides now. Gets a try, and Stirling County in their first real attack in this game are back in.
Great ball retention there by Stirling County. They mostly kept it tight, but on a couple of occasions they threw it out wide. First to Ratu Tagivi out in the right wing. They involved Trotter on the left wing, who very nearly went over for a try a couple of minutes earlier. The forwards doing the hard work there. Good defence by Watsonians, but couldn't keep them out in the end, and the conversion successful. It's now Watsonians 13, Stirling County 7, and Cunningham the man to add the extras.
Yeah, I think Cunningham, that's a good early kick for him as well, because he's been a little bit overshadowed by the performance of Baggett so far in terms of the way that he's been controlling the game. So, you know, Cunningham, young ex-Scotland under-20, has been unlucky with injuries over the last few years, but he'll be wanting to really, you know, hit the ground running and show what he can do on a rugby field.
Great restart again by Watsonians, and that man you mentioned earlier, the open side, Harry Fisher. He maybe got hands to it, but couldn't gather it in for Watsonians. It's Stirling County, and Adam Sinclair carries the ball just outside the 22, which of course takes away the option here for Stirling County to kick the ball directly to touch.
Yes, 9, use it.
So Finlay Burgess will kick it. He'll have to keep it in the field of play. So he sends that one long down the 15-metre channel. And charging onto it there from fullback comes Dominic Coetzer, the South African fullback for Watsonians. Good quick ball here, and carried into contact by Carl Davis. Again, well presented. Now it goes to Baggett. Little ball out the back there to Loman McPherson, looking for work. Coming off his right wing.
And release.
To Tagivi fighting for that one. And back it comes now to Quagga van Yeekert. Little hint of a tip pass there, but decided to take it into contact himself.
No hands.
Stirling County been told to get hands off it, and you can see that's a tactic of theirs. They're trying to make a nuisance of themselves at every breakdown. Long ball out to the try scorer, Seb Cecil, who fights his way up over the 10-metre line. Frostwick busy. Little scrum half there. Driven back was Gregor Skugel, one of the debutants, Scotland under-20 player, and Baggett decides they've lost enough ground. He's going to send that one high. That's a difficult one to take, but well done at the back there by Marcus Holden, the Stirling County captain. And again, Burgess will just look for the forwards. Stirling County happy to play deep in their own half, and it hasn't worked for them on every occasion. They've lost the ball a couple of times. Watsonians looking to hold them up here. The referee says that wasn't a maul, it's a tackle. Scrum half Burgess something to dig for that one. Watsonians been told to let it come out, and attempted tip pass there has gone to Deck, and it's come up in Watsonians' hands. Loose ball now.
Second.
However, a double knock on there, just a little bit careless by Stirling County. Perhaps should have been taken into contact rather than passed on, and apologies again. We'd lost our pictures. We seem to be back and getting the high ball there taken well at the back by Marcus Holden.
That was a good option there from Baggett. They were conceding territory, Watsonians, and he put the ball to the air, but the kick chase was pretty poor. So Holden had a bit of time. There was a little bit of pressure there, but he had a bit of time to get the ball, find the space, and pick the holes that he wanted to go into. And then Stirling County, you know, they're happy to concede territory and play from deep, as you said, but just there when they're trying to force that tip on pass when it's perhaps not on, that's when Watsonians are starting to strike, and you know, that's when it's dangerous playing out from your own half.
Injury here to one of the Stirling County front row players.
You okay?
But it's not, it's Max Williamson, the try scorer.
Max.
I think it was perhaps Williamson that gave the little tip pass. It didn't quite work for Stirling County a moment or two ago. Seems okay though.
He is a very good player. I remember watching him last year. I think in the game that I do recall, he got over the whitewash on that occasion as well. And I think, you know, I alluded to it before. Yeah. These environments are for nurturing players, and it's the likes of the complement between Williamson and Sinclair in the second row. It's going to be a huge part of Stirling County's kind of fight for the Super 6 sprint crown this year, because you know, you've got to have these big ball players with the ball in hand a little bit more, and Williamson's been growing into this game and showing what he's more capable of.
I'll get to one.
It's all about development, as you say, but as well as the rugby, the physical development to allow them to compete at the next level. And there's some big lads, as you would expect. You can see the difference between this and the club game.
Definitely. I think the intensity of this Super 6 is brilliant. There's a lot of players coming up from the Premiership into Super 6, but you know, that's where they overlap. There's a lot of players from professional coming into the Super 6, and it's preparing and nurturing players, and you've got some of the best, most exciting talent in Scotland playing in the Super 6 sprint series.
Stirling County scrum then just on their own 10-metre line, crossing the stand side of the pitch. Good solid scrum, and away there goes Burgess, and is looking for Ratu Tagive, involve him in the game. He's trying to keep himself in field. He scurries up that right touchline. He's made good ground there, has Tagive, the Glasgow Warriors winger. Ball lost there, but backwards by Stirling County, so they're still on the attack. Ball goes behind the forwards, and they're trying to go from coast to coast here. And again, he's managed to skip out of the tackle as Logan Trotter, almost scored earlier in the game, takes play up to the Watsonians 22. Out it goes again to the forwards from Finlay Burgess. He's very assured that Scrum half, very calm. And he goes again.
No, don't play the 9 though.
Out it comes. Again, clattered up in the midfield. Good tackle there by Gregor Skugel, one of the Watsonians debutants. And out it goes again towards that right wing, DJ Innes this time. Stirling County inside centre. Well, outside break dealt with well, and Stirling County struggling to get themselves into that Watsonians 22. Firm defence, Adam Sinclair. A little bit lateral there and tackled well by Carl Davis. Now they get themselves into the 22. However, Carl Davis has got himself back on his feet. That's a great attempt at winning the ball there. Referee says no. Still with Stirling County. We approach half time in this one, and now about 6 minutes left to play of the half. And Stirling County just playing through the forwards around about that Watsonians 22 again, just driven backwards. Crucially for them, keeping a hold of possession. It's Fisher looking for a turnover there, and in comes Marcus Holden from fullback. Tagive has to go in and win that ball at the breakdown. Apologies again, just a little break up in our pictures here at Myreside. A reminder, Watsonians 13, Stirling County 7.
Late on the 9.
Well, late tackle there on Finlay Burgess, so a penalty to Stirling County. And Dale, they were hardly involved in the game in the early stages, but they've grown into it. They've got themselves on the scoreboard, and as we get towards half time, they look the better of the two sides. Yeah,
they played about 4 minutes of rugby in this in this first half, and they've been effective when they've had ball in hand. I think Watsonians have had a lot of possession, but Stirling County, when they've got the ball in hand, they use their forwards really, really well, and that was all brought about because Ewan Cunningham's distribution. He noticed the line was coming up really quickly from Watsonians, floated the ball over to Trotter, and he could eat up some ground. So within the blink of an eye, we're on the halfway line, then on the 22, and Stirling are just putting the pressure on, using the big runners to try and eat up the space, and then win the penalty, and it gives them a chance here for 5 metres out.
So I imagine they will try and drive this. They've got a forward in the shape of Gregor Hiddleston standing off. So he gets his hands on the ball quickly. Round comes Angus Fraser, the hooker. And a good drive here by Stirling County, inching towards the line here. This could be their second score of the day. They've gone over the line. The referee is on the spot, awards the try. They had a great driving line out for Stirling County. We'll see who comes up last with it.
I think you knew as soon as the noise was coming on from that maul. I think you could tell Stirling County certainly liked the way that was going, and I think it perhaps looks like Lewis Skinner.
I think it is Lewis Skinner, the tight head prop, which is unusual. I expected it would either be the man standing off Gregor Hiddleston or Angus Fraser, the hooker. And normally the guys who are fortunate enough to be in possession of the ball when it goes over from that type of line out. But it was in fact Lewis Skinner who has scored that one. A great driving line out from Stirling County, and they really have got themselves back into this. Trailed 13 points to 0, and suddenly it's a 1 point game.
Yeah, I bet the hooker's raging that he wasn't in that position as well, because the prop there, the tight head's got the try, but it was a well constructed maul. They didn't lift anybody, they just kept everybody on the ground, and they got that cohesive maul early on, got all the bodies in, and they were never moved, they were never shunted, they just drove straight forward, and DJ Ennis piling in, just adding a little bit more pressure as well to that maul, gets them over the line.
So the conversion from out wide on the 22 could put Stirling County into the lead. Again, the flags go up. That is a fantastic kick there from out wide. And Stirling County, as I say, having trailed by 13 points, now lead by 1. That's a beauty of a conversion out wide. We did say about Cunningham's first attempt was a relatively easy one, but showing he can do it on the difficult side as well. But this all comes back to a bit of Watsonians' game management now at this stage, because they had opportunities to try and take 3 points. They never took them. They were opting for the corner, and now they're trailing. Great start, restart again there by Baggett. Ball goes loose, not taken by Stirling County, and hacked through. It was by Baggett, I think, chasing his own kick, but that one runs dead, but not for the first time today. Stirling County don't deal well with a kick-off.
Yeah, that was Guthrie, the outside centre, who put boot to ball there and tried to chase his own kick, but it was, that's another occasion. We've had 3 kick-offs from Watsonians that Stirling have really struggled to deal with. They've been put in the same position every single time as well, so it'll be something Stirling County will be looking to address, and I'm sure Ben Cairns won't be too happy with how they've dealt with the kick-offs.
Survive on that occasion. It'll be Cunningham
Take a step.
to take the 22 drop out. The forward's lined up away to his right, but he sends that one down towards the county 10-metre line, taken under very little pressure there by Watsonians. So a chance for them to attack as we're into the last 90 seconds of the first half here at Myreside in the FOSROC Super 6 Sprint Series. Out it comes to Baggett. And again, a little bit of misunderstanding really in the Watsonians attack. We've seen that on a few occasions today. A couple of times he's looked to play through the pod or behind the pod. On that occasion he looked to hit the pod and they didn't really look like they were expecting it.
Yeah, I think the pod were just, had the kind of hands by their side. They were never looking like they were going to take that ball, and I think Baggett perhaps thought there was going to be somebody either the other side or the faraway runner in that pod to take the ball on, but it just ghosted in front. And from a Watsonians point of view, they're very fortunate because DJ Ennis, if he scooped up that ball, it was broken field play and he could have taken play closer towards that Watsonians line, but as it stands he knocks on the ball, isn't able to get that clean contact. In your first game you're going to be expecting these errors, but I think both sides will be a little bit unhappy about their inaccuracies at some stages.
Scrum then for Stirling County. Cameron McMillan, 20-year-old loosehead on this side of the scrum for Stirling County. Need to get a bit of go forward there. Eddie Pollock, the scrum coach for Stirling County. Ben Cairns, of course, the head coach. Scott Lawson and Sean Kennedy also assisting up there. At Bridge Hawk for Watsonians, Fergus Pringle, Nicky Walker, Richard Snedden and Ed Calman, the scrum coach. 2 really strong coaching teams, isn't it?
Yeah, Calman just an addition this year to the Watsonians, and I think especially in the opening stages, the scrums have been relatively kind of eeksy-peeksy. They've been quite similar. Watsonians did have the upper hand, but it's so crucial that you get these specialist coaches in to help get these fine margins that can be the difference between winning and losing games.
You didn't see a lot of scrums in your time, Dale.
I retired early before I was in one.
You're gradually moving towards it, yes, Anna. Pulling down there, the Watsonians front row.
That's it.
Slipping his bind. You hear the referee over her mic there, Holly Davidson. A penalty here for Stirling County as the clock goes into over the 40-minute mark here at Myreside. So perhaps one last chance for Stirling County. Can they extend their lead as they go into half-time? Again, it's the winger, Logan Trotter, the long left boot, tasked with sending this one as far up that stand-side touchline. Well, in fact, he's gone to the other touchline. He finds a good touch just outside the Watsonians 22.
That's a good territorial gain there, especially to close this first half, because it's a game which we've spoken about the Stirling County of, they've kind of floated in and out. They've had very rare occurrences where they've had attacking opportunities, but to see the half out in a dangerous area, it'll be good for them.
5-man line out off the top this time, so looking to play faster, and DJ Ennis just clatters into contact in that 22. Ball goes a little bit loose, but it does come back again on the Stirling County side. And there's the try scorer, Lewis Skinner, now with the scrum cap on. Finlay Burgess looking for his forwards, are happy to keep it tight. That's where they feel they've got an advantage, but again a little bit loose there by Stirling County and waste that opportunity, and with that the referee blows for half time.
Yeah, it's been an interesting game. I think Watsonians came out in the first half and looked really strong, but Stirling County have grown into it as it's went on, and I would say they're probably on the balance of play. They're fortunate to be ahead by 1 point, but I think that's a lot to do with Watsonians' indecision, maybe game management as well, because when Stirling have had the ball in hand, they've looked dangerous, but it just sets up for an amazing second half, a really interesting, physical, close encounter between two teams who really want to put a marker down earlier on in this sprint.
Well, it was all Watsonians at the start of the half. It took them 5 minutes before Seb Cecil crossed for the first try, converted by Jason Baggett. Let's have a look at that try now. Originally came from the line out, taken by Moody, and just it was Frostwick took a couple of steps, it just pulls the defence onto him, looked for a runner and got it in the shape of vice captain Cecil, and there's Fisher now taking it into contact. They've carried well the Watsonians forwards. Cecil the recipient of the scoring pass there, and Baggett able to add the extras.
It was a good opening first score for Watsonians after what was initial really good pressure. And from there, Jason Baggett, it was the first real chance that they've had a penalty that they've opted to go for the posts. And it looked like it was perhaps just going to be a one-way traffic after that, because they had territory. Watsonians just kept turning the screw, but perhaps not taking their opportunities when they were available.
Well, 2 penalties for Baggett on the 22-minute mark and 24-minute mark took the Watsonians lead to 13 points to 0. But Stirling County did work their way back into it, and they were denied a try when Logan Trotter went over in the corner but put a foot into touch. But they did cross the whitewash a moment or two later through big Max Williamson, converted by Ewan Cunningham.
The smart thing to do would be to have these 3 cameras and 3 different decoders, because we've got 3 decoders.
And then 6 or 7 minutes later they went over for their second try from the line out 5 metres from that Watsonians try line. A great drive, and it was Lewis Skinner, the tight head prop, in possession as the ball crossed the try line. All he had to do was drop to the deck. And referee Holly Davidson on the spot there. And then again Cunningham on the far harder conversion attempt away crossing that stand side. Difficult one for the right footer. But, fantastic conversion there, and that was enough to get Stirling County in the lead in the half-time score. Then Watsonians 13, Stirling County 14.
Yeah, it's been a really entertaining first half. There's been errors from both teams, maybe a little bit of ring rust in terms of the first game of the campaign, but it only adds to the spectacle and makes it much more intriguing, because both teams will certainly want to be getting the win in their opening game. Stirling County lead by a point, and it's perhaps a point that after about 20 minutes or so we thought that it certainly wouldn't be going down the tunnel in the lead, but it just sets up for a great second half here at Myreside, because both teams look like they've got attacking players on the field that can unpick defences. It's just getting that continuity and keeping the error count low.
So while the teams take a break, it's a great chance for us to hear from a player who used the Super 6 as a stepping stone to international rugby. We caught up with Scotland and Edinburgh second row Jamie Hodgson last week to chat to him about his journey from playing with Watsonians rugby in the FOSROC Super 6 to winning his first Scotland cap against Tonga last October.
Rugby probably started to kick on when I was at school at Suer6 College. Played 2 years of first 15 there, absolutely loved it. I then went and played a season with Stirling FP Club in Nat 1, which was great fun. I really enjoyed it, really good bunch of boys. And then from there I went to go and play at Watsonians in the Premiership, which then became the Super 6, and Watsonians was lucky enough to become one of the clubs to be involved in the Super 6. So I joined up with Ferg Pringle and his coaching staff there, and loved, I think, 2 seasons there and had a really great time. I think it's a really great environment for young, developing players to go into. They've got a lot of great coaches through Ferg, Sneds, and all the background staff there as well, and great working with guys like Jono, who's just really passionate about the club and passionate about what he does. So I think it's a great environment, but then there's the professional side as well that comes in the Super 6, where the guys have got full S&C programmes, they're training 2-3 times a week, and when you go into the games on the weekend, you're ready for that because of the training schedule that's in place. I think there definitely was a step up in terms of, the guys are training 3-4 times a week. They've got gym programmes now, so everyone there is physically in the same sort of category, and they're ready to play a faster and more physical game. So I think that side of things is definitely there. And then when it comes to the detail sides in terms of set piece and moves and strikes and everything like that, there's all that because you've got more time to do it. There's more analysis in the game. The coaches, there's full-time coaches that are there to spend time in developing you. It was definitely massive in my development. Must have been one of the line-out meetings with JD, which said that I would start and call against Tonga, which was mind-blowing, and I was really nervous but excited at the same time. And I had a couple of chats with Gregor as well, which was nice because he just relaxed me in terms of saying, listen, you're here for a reason, do what you do and go out and enjoy it and enjoy the experience and soak it all up. So, and then obviously you get loads of support from the boys that have been there before, saying enjoy the experience, listen to the crowd when you get off the bus and things like that. So yeah, it was a really special day, and to have all my family and friends there made it even better.
sense of pride, and you almost get goosebumps now speaking about it. But Jamie's sort of a prime example of coming from school. He came and played in our club team, made the step up to Super 6, and he worked incredibly hard the entire time. He came in as quite a raw talent, and the coach at the time, Steve Laurie, worked incredibly hard with him, and Ferg came in and continued that. So Jamie's made the transition from Super 6 to Edinburgh, and from to get capped at BT Murrayfield was just a huge thing for him, obviously, but as a club we were hugely proud. Yeah, we've lost a few players from last season, but I think that's always natural at the end of the season that there'll be a bit of turnover. Guys moving on onto pro contracts, which is fantastic. So that's obviously part of the remit of Super 6 to bridge the gap and give guys the opportunity to kick on. Preparations have been going okay. Some guys arriving a wee bit later, just with obviously the season structure and timings. But yeah, the squad's looking pretty good. We've brought in some experienced players. We've brought in a couple of younger guys as well, particularly sort of Gregor Skugel and Ryan Daly, former pupils at the school who've gone away and played some Premiership rugby, and now making the step up to Super 6. So yeah, things are looking good. I think all the squads have recruited well, so I think it'll be quite a fierce competition. Yeah, look, the Premiership is great. You look at the final, a couple of weeks ago. There's some fantastic talent and players in there. I think with Super 6, looking at it from our own club perspective, the intensity of getting the guys in the gym a wee bit more. Nutritionally, we've got video analysis. So the whole package has kind of gone up a notch. I think when you'll see last season, particularly the standard of rugby again has gone up another level, and having some of the pro players drop down to complement the squads obviously helps lift the overall standard. But I think it's great to see guys making the step up from the Premiership into Super 6 squads, and equally from the guys who've had a couple of seasons with Super 6 now making the step up into the pro environment. So I think at the moment there's still a lot of work to do, but it's very much moving in the right direction.
Jamie Hodgson there, who played Super 6 rugby for Watsonians in the FOSROC Super 6, and then progressed to winning his first Scotland cap against Tonga last October. And speaking of Tonga, we've got the big Tongan international Walter Fafita on the bench for Stirling County, released by Glasgow Warriors this week, and he is an absolute beast. He's about 6'5", I think. He's 118 kilos in old money. Is that about 18.5 stone or something like that? We spoke earlier about poor Darcy Graham having to try and deal with him in that Tonga match. I imagine we will see him very shortly in this one.
Yeah, I would imagine he's a player that you would want to bring into this game and make an impact, and 40 minutes would be probably enough to be able to do that in this game. And you think that
Welcome back, in second half now underway. Reminded the half-time score: Watsonians 13, Stirling County 14. Watsonians leading 13 points to 0 after 24 minutes, but Stirling County got themselves right back into this one in the early stages of the second half. Ratu Tagive on the right wing there, the Glasgow Warrior for Stirling County, and they look to get the ball wide into that left wing channel down the stand side touchline. They go through Logan Trotter, who's got his hands on the ball plenty this afternoon so far, but the ball lost forward there.
I think that's something that Stirling have started to do in this game, and we were almost going to be speaking about a minute ago about Fafita when he comes on, but I think the whole game plan of Stirling is starting to come up. They're trying to play that expansive rugby, and for the last either side of half time, Trotter's got into the game more and more and more, and it's something that Stirling County, obviously it's a game plan. They want to be playing that expansive rugby and bringing their wingers into the game.
Gregor Hiddleston just throwing a forward pass there to his left winger Logan Trotter. And you're right, I think people watching will think that Stirling County have played through the forwards a lot, but it's not one-dimensional. They'll suck that Watsonians defence in, but they really do want to get it into the hands of their wingers.
Yeah, it's to bring the players in, to create these spaces out wide, and there's method in the madness, and it's starting to show fruition for Stirling County to play that expansive rugby, and it's a good scrum up front there for Watsonians. They get the penalty, but again, going back to what we're saying about Stirling, it's that they're creating these areas and these platforms to try and pounce from.
Yeah, good scrum there for Watsonians. Look, they're going up on that loose head side of the scrum. Sean Gunn, one of the three former Southern Knights players in Watsonians colours today. There's another one in the shape of Jason Baggett, just hoofing that ball up the stand side touchline. A good start to the second half here certainly for the Watsonians scrum. Let's see what they can do from the line out. Their first try came from the line out. Moody taking the ball, and they made 10 or 12 metres before it was eventually dragged down close to the Stirling County try line.
Time on.
And 2 or 3 phases later, Seb Cecil went over from a pass from his scrum half Rowan Frostwick, and back it comes then for Watsonians, and look to crash it up in the middle. Good ground just over halfway, and quick ball there for Frostwick. Lost there in contact by Quagga van Niekerk, the big South African. The referee says it was stripped though, so no knock on. Watsonians maybe a little bit fortunate. In fact, they made a change, I think, at scrum half. It will be Rory Brand, I think.
I don't think he's on yet. I think Stirling did make a change.
So out it goes into that right wing channel for Watsonians. Hint of an inside pass there from the forward pod. However, a referee against his no rolling away by Stirling County at the breakdown, and it's just giving Watsonians easy territory. 2 quick fire penalties, one to get themselves up into the Stirling County half, and now Baggett will look to get Watsonians territory inside the Stirling County 22.
Yeah, I think from that the rip from Van Niekerk as he took the ball forward, it was actually Frostwick who went in and secured that ball, which meant an auxiliary scrum half had to come in, and it was Coates there, the fullback, who slotted in at 9. But that's perhaps a little bit that intensity which was missing in the first half for Watsonians, because they weren't as alert to these bouncing balls. They weren't trying to snaffle the ball first and foremost. So that was a good play from Frostwick there to be able to snaffle that ball when it was bouncing about on the ground. Keeps the momentum in the phase of play and in the move, and Watsonians could get the attacking platform, and as you can see here, they're kicking downfield to a great attacking position.
So Moody, the last man into the line out. Up he goes, and again Carl Davis comes round, gets a hold of the ball there, and again moving forward quickly towards that Stirling County try line, kind of skews off there, and yes, the break does Carl Davis and gets very close to the Stirling County try line. Stirling County hands in there, but still Watsonians in possession. Loose ball then clatters into contact, again only a metre or so short, and the forwards will just pick and go. Sean Gunn this time, the loose head prop. Now Quagga van Niekerk standing over the ball right under the posts. Right, it'll come now from Frostwick. Baggett, and little ball behind, and then inside pass. It's a clever inside pass there from Joe Reynolds. Finds Loman McPherson coming in off the right wing, and over go Watsonians, who retake the lead 4 minutes into the second half.
Yeah, that was a lovely phase of play. You could see Watsonians using their forwards here, trying to have that bite at the line and try and muscle their way over, and when they realised that there was a little bit of space out wide, they could do that. And you can see that line from Guthrie. He just cuts that line across, which fixes the defender, which allows that space for McPherson to run into. So when the ball gets through the hands, you can see that acute line from Guthrie creates that space on the inside of Tagive, which means that the opposite winger can go in for a score. And it was a well worked, well constructed move, and perhaps just a little bit more patience and accuracy there from Watsonians sees him over the line.
It was a nice little ball sort of out the back door to Joe Reynolds, And there was just enough separation created between defenders that the inside ball to Loman McPherson worked. He just slid through on the angle, popping up off the right wing. And Jason Baggett now, the vice-captain, tasked with adding the extras. 14 metres in from the left touchline. Should be a fairly straightforward kick for Baggett, you would think. Catches that one well, just curls it round.
Yep. Okay. And 10.
I rather lost sight of that one.
Yeah, so did I.
Yeah, I think so.
I think it was successful. Find out in just a second.
I think there's been a change in the Stirling County front row as well, because I think George Breeze has came on for Cameron McMillan, so a change there. But you can see just on the left hand side of the post, the ball just getting caught up in the air, and Baggett not able to add the extras. So 18 points to 14, it just does make it that intriguing 4-point scoreline.
It's a long kick there by Stirling County. That's far too long. That run's dead, so it will come all the way back to halfway.
It's always difficult when you've conceded a try to compound that misery with an unforced error like that. It's sometimes it just rains and pours on you when you're creating these mistakes. But certainly it's an interesting platform for Watsonians to try and strike from. And as you can see on the screen, Brands came on to replace Frostwick now, and he is a really, really exciting player. And I think it's you see the buzz on social media. He's a square little scrum half, but he's a pocket rocket behind the scrum, so it's going to be interesting to see what impact he has.
Brand on for Frostwick at scrum half.
Bind!
And you can see he's solid.
Yeah, physical scrum half.
Set! Hold!
It will be Brand who feeds the scrum here. Last
Use it!
Watsonian scrum resulted in a penalty. I think this one will come back out. Moody picks it up there, and Watsonians put boot to ball and send that back into the Stirling County 22. Dealt with well though by Logan Trotter. We already know he's got a good boot on him, but Watsonians not hanging about. Joe Reynolds throws that one into Baggett. He's dragged down, tries to offload the ball there. Perhaps a bit fortuitously, finds its way into the hands of Loman McPherson, then away goes Angus Guthrie. Down that right touchline, but it's been lost. And Stirling County come away with it. In goes Carl Davis to try and win that, and great work there by the hooker and Captain Davis. So Watsonians had no sooner lost possession than win it back and get themselves a penalty just outside that Stirling County 22.
I think it's weird to see Carl Davis upright, because his natural position seems to be hunched over the ball, and you can see when the tackle was made, he managed to just get himself in the right position over the ball, release the player, and he's a very small, quite a small, short hooker, and when he's over that ball he looks really, really solid, and he's difficult to move, and wins another penalty in a dangerous position, and Watsonians can get some field territory here.
So Baggett with the kick finds a good touch midway into that Stirling County 22.
Thank you.
So once again the Watsonians line
Yeah,
out.
good there, boys.
Davis, who just won them the penalty, to throw in now.
You too?
Again, Woody will be the last man in. Will he be the target or will he be the lifter? 5-man option this time. Bit of movement, it does go to Moody. Down it comes.
Backwards.
And Harry Fisher gets hands that well. Back it comes then to Carl Davis. We've seen a couple of tries already coming from driving lineouts. Is this going to be one for Watsonians? Can they get their third try here as they inch towards that Stirling County line?
That's once.
County managed to hold it up for now, and it looks like Rory Brand just on its scrum half. He's got his hands on it, but the Watsonians maul now moving forward again. The referee happy to play on here, and it's broken up a little. Stirling County struggling to drive this one back. Brand now gets hands on the ball, and back it comes. Baggett sees space across on the left hand side, doesn't catch that one perfectly, and it can't be taken by Ryan Daly, and away comes Ratu Tagivi now for Stirling County inside his 22, and he'll be desperate to get hands on the ball. He's not seen an awful lot of it.
Onside. Yeah, good boys, leave
Clattered into the breakdown with the big Watsonians forwards.
No advantage. Hey, you're
The
good.
referee was playing an advantage, and back they will come. I think it'll be a scrum down here for Stirling County.
Again, Carl Davis over that ball. It's obviously the advantage was there for for Stirling County, but Davis again just showing how important he is over the ball, and as he's got older he's got better and better each year, and really consolidated himself in this Watsonians team, leading it as well, being the captain. So it was just a poorly executed crossfield kick from Baggett, just not able to find anywhere near the space that he was looking for, and then the knock on the wing, and it did give County an opportunity to try and attack from their 22, and Tagive done well to get back in field towards the support, but it just kind of broke down in the end, and it's now a scrum.
On the other side of the pitch, it looked for all money that Watsonians were going to get over from the driving line out initially, but good defence by Stirling County as the ball broke up. Managed to keep Watsonians out, and then, as Dale says, the poorly executed crossfield kick by Jason Baggett maybe wasn't the worst option, but it wasn't the best execution. And the upshot is scrum to Stirling County.
No stepping back,
not
hold your weight.
With the engagement here. So reset the scrum, not for the first time this afternoon.
Let's go, guys. Let's go, front row.
Just make sure you're in, okay?
10 minutes played in the second half. Watsonians 18, Stirling County 14 in the FOSROC Super 6 Sprint Series. First weekend. Ayrshire Bulls beating the Birmingham Bears 24-17 last night. And still to come today, Heritage Rugby against the Southern Knights from Golden Acre. They'll have to rush across town after this one. They'll also be on comms for that one.
Yes.
So out it comes, picked up by Cruikshank at the base for Stirling County. Apologies just for the loss of pictures here from Myreside. And it's still Stirling County in possession. And slow ball here, so Finlay Burgess. It's a bit of a shield set up with forwards. Again, kicks that one long down the right hand touchline. It's a great clearing kick from the scrum half.
Yeah, it's a great clearing kick, but I thought I did think that the winger Ryan Daly was quite considerably in field, and the way that the ARs picked up that touch, it looks like they've maybe stolen a few metres, but it was a great clearance kick from the ex-Glasgow Hawks scrum half to get that far down the field from such an acute position as well. It shows it's a good weapon for Stirling County with that box kick.
So Watsonians line out, fairly secure apart from one notable miss early in the game when Watsonians had a chance. Back to the action then with Watsonians. It's taking play across halfway. Nice ball out into the midfield. The hard running forwards and recycled. Baggett again getting hands on ball, tackled.
Release it.
In that 15-metre channel down the Watsonians left flank. So back it will come from replacement scrum half Rory Brand. The pod of three forwards, however.
On the floor playing it.
Playing the ball on the floor there, and Stirling County again, and won a few penalties at the breakdown today. We said earlier in the game that's clearly something they're trying to do. They're putting somebody in along with the tackler at every single breakdown, and they've had a fair bit of success from it.
Yeah, and it's really, to be fair, it's slowed down the pace of the game. At this level, gaps are really, really difficult to find. You know, you go down the pyramid system in Scottish rugby, they're a little bit easier to find, but when you come up to this level with everybody being such a high quality rugby player, they're difficult to try and find those spaces. So with Stirling County competing over the ball at pretty much every opportunity, it means it slows the play down, allows the defensive line to get into place, and Watsonians are finding it really, really hard to pick the lock.
Blue, keep that space.
Yeah, just forces Watsonians to commit more players, slows them down. So great work there by Stirling County, winning the penalty on that occasion, and now a line out, unable to take it cleanly. Well, I thought that one had gone back actually at the front of the line out, but the referee disagrees with me. She's closer to the action.
Yep.
So that will be a fair call.
Okay,
but
number 5.
Changes here for Stirling County. Looks like Adam Sinclair is done for the day. Sinclair was the lifter there at the back. There's nothing wrong there really, just it should have been taken cleanly and wasn't.
Okay,
so Watsonians survive, and they will feed the scrum inside their 22.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. This is such a quality level of rugby, but we can't also forget the fact that this is the first game. A lot of these players have not played a lot of competitive rugby in a duration, and some players have came up from the Premiership. The new combinations, the new partnerships, they're still gelling, and you can see they start to kind of grow in waves and fits in this game. But sometimes I think a little bit of inaccuracy, but you can see the quality, the game plan, the mindset's there. It's just getting that accuracy, and once that's there, this is going to be an exciting tournament.
Picked up by Moody at the base of the scrum and just charges over the top of one of the Stirling County players. It was scrum half Finlay Burgess. No damage done though as he gets back to his feet, and then into contact goes Quagga van Niekerk, the big South African number 5 for Watsonians, and it looks like Rory Brand setting himself for a box kick here just outside his 22, so this will have to stay in field. And an error there by the new man at scrum half as that goes out on the full. Ratu Tagive was waiting underneath that one. He races up the touchline, but he will just place that ball down, and it'll be a Stirling County line out from in line with where Brand kicked it.
Yeah, and as I say again, it's at this level when you make these mistakes, it's very often that they get punished. I think Brand perhaps fortunate that he's not in his own, that much closer to his line, and that he's made an error there. He did feign for the box kick, but it gives Stirling County ball in hand and gives them a platform to strike from.
That's once.
So the first part of the equation successful. They've taken the ball on the line out. He's trying to inch forward, but they're not going very far. So in goes Finlay Burgess, and Innes spinning himself out of contact there. Referee playing an advantage here for Stirling County, so free ball, so to speak. And that ball has been lost. The referee will come back. High tackle, in fact, it was. So penalty here for Stirling County right in front of the posts.
Yeah, and this is an interesting call. It's a sprint series. They only play each other once until the league splits. So 18 points to 14, and you can see Holden just signalling to go for the post, because it is, it's still a game that Stirling County they've conceded a lot of possession and territory, but if they can get to within a point, it makes it such an intriguing fixture, because Watsonians have had the lion's share of everything in this game, but just not been able to capitalise.
The Stirling County captain, New Zealander Marcus Holden, loads of experience, 32 years old. He's going to take the kick himself here. This will, you assume, be fairly straightforward for him. I always say in commentary, I never assume anything with kicking is straightforward. I could barely get the thing off the ground, but you would think for a kicker this should be easy enough. And narrow it to a 1 point advantage to the home side, Watsonians. Well, they didn't catch that one perfectly, but the flags go up, and it is Watsonians 18, Stirling County 17. With about 23 minutes remaining in this one. Yeah,
just got right underneath that and just scooped it over the bar. And as we say, it's keep getting within that point. It's keeping the game nice and tight as it gets into the final 20 minutes. And I think that is where we're going to see the impact of these squads. We're going to see the depth that each of them has at these initial stages in the sprint. Is who's going to come off the bench, who's going to make the impact, who's going to grab this game by the scruff of the neck. And it sets up a great finish here at Myreside.
So Baggett again, the Watsonians vice-captain, sends that one high, allows his forwards to get themselves underneath it. Again, apologies for the loss of pictures here at Myreside, but you can see that Watsonians have come up with that one, so it was really a great restart. And Baggett then throws a long ball out there to his left wing, Ryan Daly. Takes play into the 22, but dealt with well there by both of the Stirling County wingers, Aratu Tagive, and I think that was Logan Trotter involved in the tackle there as well. Dealing with that one well.
He just asked to do a bit too much on the wing. The ball was like thrown out to him, and he didn't have a lot of options, and they were almost asking him to do the rest of the work. Nobody's created any space for Daly there, so he was kind of up against it when he ran into contact there and just got ragdolled into touch. So Stirling County line out inside their 22.
So Watsonians line out now, just on their side of halfway. Carl Davis, the captain, throw in again to a 5-man line out. The movement, and it goes to the back. And just about taken by Seb Cecil, the first try scorer for Watsonians. Ball knocked on in the midfield, snapped up there by Stirling County. It was Gregor Hiddleston, the man to win possession, and now they get it out to Ratu Tagivi on this right wing. Chip over the top there, but not quite where he intended to land. It just bounces into touch. A hint of an opportunity there for the big Australian winger.
Yeah, it just shows what he can do with the ball in hand. He just gathered it under such ease, but just maybe didn't get the greatest connection. Just tried to keep it as a bit of a foot race and maybe get a bit of backspin on the ball as well to try and, maybe wrong foot his opposite winger. But he's not really had a lot of ball in hand. As much as Stirling have tried to play expansively, it's mostly fallen into the hands of Logan Trotter on the other wing.
You've seen the last play again as they threw the ball out to Tagivi, just chipped it over the top, and if that had landed in the 22 and rolled end over end, which I'm sure is what he intended to do, there was space there for him, but he couldn't quite control it. And as you say, we've not seen an awful lot of him, the Glasgow Warriors winger. Played a bit of rugby league in Australia before converting to Union and making his way over here to the Warriors. And still we haven't seen Walter Fafita.
No, but I think this game is pretty much lined up for a player of his ilk to come on. We spoke about it after the penalty. We've got about 20 minutes left in this game, and this is where we're going to see the depth of the squad. And Fafita is going to be a kind of signpost of how deep these squads are in terms of their quality from number 1 down to number 23. So it's certainly set up for a bit of a grandstand finish. But 20 minutes to go, it's still a long time in rugby.
Carol Main on in the back row for Harry Fisher on the Watsonian side. It's Watsonians. That's a lovely little dummy there by Carol Main. He had no right to make his way 15 metres or so upfield. Wonderful play by the replacement scrum half for the home side here, and then bag it through the hands of Reynolds. And Watsonians take play out into the channel on their right wing. And Carl Davis has been absolutely everywhere today. The captain clatters into contact there. Back it comes to Baggett. This time the better pass out into the midfield for Sean Gunn. A loose head prop. And under a bit of pressure there, Brand manages to clear it, but they have lost a bit of ground, have Watsonians. Joe Reynolds, the New Zealander, just does the tidying up job, and back it comes again to Baggett. And he saw there was space there on the right hand side of the pitch. A lovely offload to his fullback there, Dominic Coetzer, the South African, just slips so, but still with Watsonians, and Carl Davis once again pops up. The hooker and the captain, Brand, then out to the forwards. Nice little tip on ball there from Cecil to Main. Brand again finds Baggett, and round the corner coming Angus Guthrie, the outside centre, but referee was playing an advantage there, indicating that Stirling County just dived on the player there. But a great break by Baggett and lovely offload in the tackle to his fullback Coetzer, coming on at pace there.
He's just diving on the player on the ground
by Carl Davis, and once again a chance here from the penalty for Watsonians to get themselves some territory deep inside that Stirling County 22.
Yeah, it was a great break from Baggett. You can just see the experience that he brings and the qualities. He's just shaping up this kick here, and he's able to pick a gap. He knows when to go. He's not always 100% going to be excellent and right all the time, but most of the time the majority of the calls he makes are the right ones, and just knew to go to the line there, draw the players in, and he's got the skill set to chuck the ball out the back door. And it was a great break, and if Coetzer could find it, if he still remained and kept his feet, anything could have happened there, because that was the sort of gap that has been so seldom in this game.
2 tries apiece here, Seb Cecil and Loman McPherson for Watsonians, Williamson and Skinner for Stirling County. Can Watsonians add to their tally here? That slender 1 point advantage taken in the middle then by Lewis Ball. Initially just driven back slightly, but they've got their maul well set here, Watsonians. Can they get themselves moving forward? Carl Davis in possession, he sticks his head up, has a little look. The crowd noise up as well as they realise the home side could get themselves over for the third try here, just again working their way towards that Stirling County try line. Looks almost inevitable here. Down it goes though.
Onside.
Stopped just short, and the referee happy with it. Picked up by the hooker Carl Davis, and he has got himself over the line there. That is unbelievable play by Carl Davis. We thought he would score from the driving maul. It was dragged down legally by Stirling County, but somehow he appeared again, snapped it up, and he's gone over for his side's third try.
Absolutely brilliant play from Carl Davis. I was thinking a minute ago, all that he's really missing from this game is a try, and you just see the experience here. Brand is wanting that ball out, but Davis is still attached and knows that the gap was there, and then he pounces just at the right time. But I think Williamson in the second row for Stirling County, and Ball as well, I think it probably worked out more on the Watsonian side because he was standing up. He was more involved in a personal battle with his opposite number, and it's allowed that momentum from Watsonians. And Cal Davis has had an absolute superb day for Watsonians, leading from the front, and he gets that try because all over the field he has been exceptional so far.
So still 16 minutes remaining in this one, but you get a feeling that there's not going to be an awful lot separating the sides at the end of this, and this conversion could prove crucial. Jason Baggett again. Originally coming from that Jason Baggett break up that right side from the scrum, unable to add the extras here, so it's still 6 points the difference. Watsonians 23, Stirling County 17.
You just let me know when you're good, Ali.
You can see there, as soon as the gap comes and they're in behind the line, that's when teams get a bit frantic.
Yep,
and Stirling County kind of had to kind of verge on the sign of caution more than anything else. They concede that penalty, and then Watsonians just go again, and brilliant execution from the driving maul.
Stirling County then send this long, and a bit of confusion there between Moody and Ryan Daly. And in fact, I think Daly's knocked it on. Moody was standing in front of him and picked it up, so that's an offside. And that means a penalty to Stirling County. So from a kick that really should have been dealt with easily by Watsonians under no pressure whatsoever, is going to result in them now having to defend a line out 5 metres from their try line.
Yeah, that's poor from Ryan Daly on the wing. Sorry, he's just maybe been caught a little bit unawares, and he wasn't in the right position to take that ball. And Moody instinctively wants to, he's a rugby player. There's a bouncing ball in front of him. He wants to grab it, but Stirling County now on the attack.
That didn't go to the intended recipient, went right over the tail of the line out. But Stirling County do have possession. What can they make of this? 3 or 4 metres short of that Watsonians try line. Round the corner come the forwards, very close here. In go Watsonians in main to try and win that one back. Referee having none of that though, and now they'll go wide. Ratu Tagivi again popping up off the right wing, bounces out of a couple of tackles, cuts back in field, driven back eventually by the Watsonians defence. And again the forwards will have a go. Again, crunching tackle there by Campbell Wilson for Watsonians, but he was up offside, and again clattering into contact. There goes Callum Cruikshank, the big Stirling County number 8.
You got advantage now.
Then back to the left side they go. Ratu Tagivi again, this time gives the pass, and there could be space out there on that left flank for Stirling County. Still about 10 metres short of the try line though. A referee, I think, playing an advantage for an offside. In goes Cecil, tries to turn that one over. He does in fact pull it back on the Watsonian side, and the referee will go back for a penalty to Stirling County.
Stirling County doing really well to keep the tempo up. I think when they get the ball in hand, they do use their big runners like Sir Williamson, trying to puncture little holes, draw the defence in. But when they go, and they try and get the ball wide quickly away from that contact area. But on that occasion, just again the Watsonians defence just standing a bit too firm and just opting more to be penalised as opposed to concede a try. And it's Stirling, we've seen them in waves and fits, but they've only really had about 3 or 4 attacking opportunities for this whole game, but they're still only 6 points behind.
Injury there to Watsonians number 4 Lewis Ball, of English and German descent. Not sure what he has done there, but it looks like, well, he's got himself back to his feet. The physio just having a make sure he can run.
There was a big collision when Tagivi came off his wing, and I think he was involved in that. There was 2 men went in, and he was the player that went low, and I think they perhaps just got caught up in that there.
We're seeing more of Ratu Tagivi coming off his right wing. He's doing what every coach would expect their winger to do, especially one of the key men, is to go looking for work, and 2 or 3 times in that last few phases of play he popped up, carried, bounced himself out with tackles, and then giving a pass out on that left flank. Let's see if Stirling County can get the ball into his hands here. A centre field scrum right in front of the posts. That looks like I think their fullback Marcus Holden, the captain, standing at first receiver on this side. Of Cunningham away to the left, so options both sides. I suspect they will come this way, although well, it's going to be picked up by Cruikshank, and out it does come. And into the hands of Ratu Tagive. You could sense that's what they were trying to do, but they didn't give him the ball in an awful lot of space. Still with Stirling County 8 metres or so out from the Watsonians try line. Seb Cecil, the first try scorer of the game, makes the tackle for the home side. Again, just playing through the forwards initially, Stirling County. Again, just wrapping around the corner, coming onto that ball at pace, looking for holes in that Watsonians defence, and now they'll throw the ball wide again. Little ball out the back door as that runner comes in just to try and hold the defence. Watsonians up to the task so far. Referee shouting no hands, but too late. In they went there. I think it was Campbell Wilson again penalised for the second time in the last 5 minutes or so. It's still Stirling County playing under advantage. Tackle made by Koetser, the South African fullback for Watsonians. Still with Stirling County. Slower ball here, so nice little tip on. That could work well for Stirling County. Stopped again, short bag at the man making the tackle there. In comes a hand from Watsonians. Ball dropped though. I think it was okay the first time, but then the second attempt by Callum Cruikshank, the ball was knocked on. And the referee comes back for another penalty to Stirling County, deep inside that Watsonians 22.
Yeah, and there's that tip on there that you were on about. It was a great option. Take the contact, put your player into a bit of space, and it almost opened up. There's been a couple of occasions here when Stirling have been attacking just round the fringes. Watsonians are finding it difficult to get round quick enough. And again, that comes back to the tempo that Stirling look to play with when they've got ball in hand. They almost are quite happy to defend, and when the opportunity comes, they strike and try and go quickly. If that is using their big runners off the fringes or looking to try and go wide, because they've certainly got strike runners and big ball carriers to unpick this defence.
But as soon as you go in and he's still there, I can't reward you. No. Good. Good.
Slight break in play here.
Not rolling.
Stirling County then through Logan Trotter. We'll just kick this one into touch 5 metres out from the Watsonians try line. So still 6-point game. Fantastic opportunity here though for Stirling County. Set up again for the 6+1 line out, and in goes Gregor Hiddleston, number 7, to win that one. Disrupted a bit by Watsonians. It's still Stirling County in possession though. Referee yet again playing an advantage, so umpteen penalties conceded by Watsonians in the last few minutes. I imagine that Stirling County will just set themselves up another line out. The referee wants a quick word with the Watsonians captain. I see another change there for Stirling County. It looks like Harry Russell, Finn Russell's big brother on there.
No more.
You can just take it
from the line.
I think he came up through the. I'm not sure that is actually when I see it, but I was going to say Harry came up through the Stirling County youth system. And then spent a number of years at Falkirk, but back in Stirling County colours now, alongside his brother Archie, not featuring today, but I'm sure we'll see plenty of him in this sprint series. A former Ayr player. Taken there though by Stirling County, and is galloping towards that Watsonians try line. Must score here. They do indeed touch it down, and Stirling County get themselves right back into this one. Angus Fraser, the try scorer for County, and yet again it's a 1-point game. Watsonians went up in the middle of the line out there. And of course they then can't set their drive, so Stirling County have gone up a second or so later. They've taken that, and as they hit the deck, all too easy just to drive there, because the Watsonians line out defence is all over the place there, and far too easy for Stirling County as they dot down for their third try of the afternoon. Yeah, if you're going to watch how not to defend a driving maul, that's probably quite a good example, because when Seb Cecil got chucked up, when he actually comes down to ground, he's already got his back to the attacking maul. He's got to work really, really hard to try and turn his body, get round, get in a position where he can actually drive, and with the rest of the force from the rest of the squad coming together, because he was in no man's land, because the two lifters and himself were kind of disengaged early on. So Stirling County striking really, really well there, and that's as easy a try as you'd like off a line out. Yeah, there's an argument for staying down there and just getting yourself set to hit that when give the ball to Stirling County from the line-out and then just hit that hard and drive them back. Conversion is successful then from the co-captain, fullback Marcus Holden. And as happened in the first half, remember Watsonians led 13-0. after about 24 minutes, but 2 Stirling County tries saw them lead by a point at the break, by 14 points to 13. And we've got a similar story with Watsonians extending their lead in the early stages of this second half, but now Stirling County, with about 8.5 minutes left on the clock, lead by 1.
Not to be too cruel on either side, but I feel like Stirling County haven't been made to work too hard for their points. They've taken them when they've been available, and Watsonians have had to exert a lot of energy to get into positions and keep the pressure on Stirling throughout this game. So it's a really interesting scoreline, 23 points to 24, and there's not a lot separating these two teams.
So play just inside the Watsonians half.
Perfect. Okay, time on.
Again, Carl Davis, the captain, to throw in, finds Moody. Two of them have combined well this afternoon. Into contact go Watsonians, fight their way forward a metre or two, still just short of halfway. And then Lewis Ball seems to be okay after that earlier injury. Baggett just giving the pass off. Has that been stripped by Stirling County? No, it does come back on the Watsonians side. Watsonians defence up, the Stirling County defence up very flat there, but apparently still onside. And again, Baggett just getting his hands on the ball and distributing there to his forwards. Now they try and get out into the wide channel. Dominic Coetzer, the fullback. In comes Stirling County hands again. They have turned that one over. The referee is holding on the deck there by Coetzer, the Watsonians fullback. And yet again, Stirling County win themselves possession with a penalty at the breakdown.
Yeah, just not able to get there quick enough, and you see when he takes the ball into contact, he's already relatively isolated, and the supporting player losing his foot and trying to get over the ball, and he's that gives Stirling County plenty of time to get their bodies over it and secure that ball and at least hold it into the body to make it look like you're trying to make an attempt to strip the ball. But they've done well just to swarm the area and get the penalty, allows them to kick downfield.
Joe Reynolds and Loman McPherson just a little bit slow to react there as Dominic Coetzer took the ball into contact. And as we've said all afternoon, Stirling County, if they have a hint of a turnover there at the breakdown, they will get hands on it. And again, it's resulted in them with an attacking line out in a very dangerous position.
Time on.
And they're now looking for a bonus point try, of course.
Yeah, and I think the substitutions have made a huge impact in this game. It's actually improved the continuity for either side. There's been a lot less errors and there's been a bit more cohesion throughout, but Stirling County again with that very, very effective drive and maul, setting it up well and taking it towards that Watsonians 22.
Taken by Max Williamson, the first try scorer for Stirling County. And it's going to come out. Harry Russell has a little look there. He's trying to find a runner, eventually finds one a bit slow there, very close to Watsonians line again. Round come the forwards, in come hands from Watsonians, unable to win that. Ball's gone loose though. Referee loud blasting the whistle again, and there have been an awful lot of penalties for Watsonians in the last 10 minutes or so of this game.
Just getting over that ball, looking to try and make it look like you're making an attempt to try and get that ball back, but the referee just not happy with that, saying that they were sealing off, and it just made it less of a contest. But this is going to be an interesting call to see where they go. It's obviously a 1 point game as it stands, but obviously chasing a bonus point as well. Both teams are, so it's another intriguing factor to this fixture.
Logan Trotter again kicks that ball into touch.
Great, thanks, Luke.
Inside the Watsonians 22. We've seen both sides, if they can secure possession at the line out, they've got powerful driving mauls.
Such an important weapon at this level of rugby, the driving maul, and Stirling County will be hoping the Lightning will strike 3 times, because they've already had 2 driving maul tries.
Hiddleston again in there as the +1 in the line out, and then he'll just hand that ball back to the hooker. Can't get themselves going forward here. Looks like he's going to crab round to left, but Russell digs in for that ball, feeds it back, and now the big man has come on, Walter Fafita, and smothered by Watsonians players. They understand the danger that he presents. However, he managed to still present that ball back with 3 or 4 Watsonians players on him. I don't think they'll give him very much space. Ratu Tagive lurking out here on the right flank for Stirling County. Back it comes again, round the corner comes Lewis Skinner for Stirling County. He's driven back. That's a great tackle there by Kieran Watt with the red headgear on. Out it goes. Fafita cuts back inside of his left foot. That's a fantastic tackle there by Campbell Wilson for Watsonians. And that kind of tackle, it's just asking for a jackal to come in. He just hit the deck instantly, and allows Watsonians to get hands on that one. And the first two times in possession there for Fafita, Watsonians defence have managed to deal with them well.
Yeah, definitely. It doesn't matter how big or how jinky you are. If you can clamp your opposition's knees together, then he's not going to go far. And it was a great tackle. Campbell Wilson just being able to take his momentum down to the ground as well, get him down first time, and allow Watsonians a strike at this ball, because that was a penalty that you could almost have went to the posts, and it makes it a 4-point game. They need to score a try in these closing stages, run down the clock, but that opportunity is gone, and now it's Watsonians who get the chance to just etch and sneak inside the Stirling County half.
Both sides with 3 tries this afternoon. Of course, 4 tries wins you a bonus point, so both sides will be desperate to get themselves across the whitewash one more time. They've got about 3 minutes to do it. It's Watsonians in possession. It's the Stirling County side of halfway again. It's a great driving line out there for Watsonians. Referee playing an advantage.
16 side entry.
Back it comes there. Ball out the back and offload again by Baggett, and they'll try and get the ball out into the wide channels. Away goes Coetzer with the ball in his left hand there. He's thinking about an offload. Stirling County again trying to strip that ball. Back it comes.
Who was that?
It's Murray Scott now on it at scrum half for Watsonians. Baggett again just feeding on to his forwards. Seb Cecil, the first try scorer. Again out it goes. Baggett this time just a little delayed pass out the back there to Murray Scott. And again to Cecil, just playing through the forwards for now. Watsonians. Baggett again standing at first receiver, and this time he goes behind the forwards, and a little break there by inside centre Joe Reynolds. Couldn't quite get himself away though, dragged down outside that Stirling County 22. Cecil again has been everywhere with ball in hand this afternoon. Baggett again, little outside break, goes himself. Quick ball here for Watsonians, a little bit of indecision, and then Carl Main just sticks his head down and drives forward into contact. However, I think the referee was playing an advantage. I think there probably were 2 penalties here, and just offering Watsonians the best position. And Jason Baggett had no hesitation there in telling referee Holly Davidson that they would be going for the posts.
Yeah, a good play from Watsonians to put the pressure on, and it gives them a chance here to try and go for the sticks.
In terms of if you take the penalty?
If we take the penalty, score.
So a chance here for Jason Baggett, the Watsonians vice captain, to put his side back in front. They trail by a point after that Angus Fraser try for Stirling County. Time running short. This could well be a winning kick for Watsonians. So Baggett, one last glance up at the posts. Again, catches it well. Up go the flags, and Watsonians do retake the lead through the boot of Jason Baggett.
Yeah, it was a great pressure from Watsonians. They were able to get themselves in a good position, and it was you want to do that at the end of games when you're within a point. You just protect the ball, you get into good positions, and a penalty centre field is just exactly what you want. And there was 2 men in that picture there. It was both Baggett and Davis, and they've had really good afternoons.
So let's take the chance then to name our player of the match. I think you've probably just hinted at it there, Dale, but who have you selected?
It's definitely got to be Cal Davis for me. I think he's been brilliant over the ball. It's not often in top level rugby that you see a hooker play for the full 80 minutes either, and he's led from the front. He's got his try, he's won umpteen penalties being over the ball, and it looks like he could go on for another about 80 minutes. He's had an exceptional day, and I think that penalty perhaps from Baggett, if that is the match winner, it's probably just fitting that Davis is led from the front and got them into those positions.
His energy levels have been absolutely unbelievable. As you say, it looks like he could just play another another game. You've got to do another game because you're dashing across town now, because we've still got another game this afternoon. Heriots Rugby against Southern Knights at Golden Acre. Into injury time at the end of this one, and it comes to the Watsonian scrum from Murray Scott. Ian Moody at the back there just picks and passes it off to Scott. Right, it goes to Baggett again, and well, in fact that was Walter Fafita racing out the line there, just looking to try and intercept, I think, there in the hope that a pass would be thrown. Desperate times here for Stirling County. The referee's obviously indicated that time is up, because Jason Baggett has just kicked that one out into the stand, and with that the referee Holly Davidson blows for full time, and it's Watsonians who win it at the death with that Jason Baggett penalty. As Watsonians 26, Stirling County 24.
Yeah, I think they deserved the victory, but they worked really, really hard for it, and they were made to work really, really hard for it. They almost threw it away with some game management issues and perhaps not taking the points when they were available, but when they needed to, they stepped forward, and especially that man Carl Davis, who's just shaking hands, just going off your picture just now. He was brilliant. He led from the front. He lifted everybody up when they needed lifted. Won penalties at really, really decisive times. And I think it's maybe a bit of a nerve settler for Watsonians. But Stirling County can hold their heads high. They played brilliantly in a game that they perhaps were not in long periods of time. They were able to stick in with Watsonians and make it a really, really interesting match.
And of course, a losing bonus point for Stirling County. 3 tries apiece, so no try bonus point for either side. I think both coaches will be reasonably happy with some of what they've seen. There's always plenty to work on after the first game of a season, and a shortened season that we've already spoken about. They really have to come out the blocks very fast, but lots there to be positive about.
Yeah, definitely. I think both teams they'll certainly look at this as it's the first game. There's a lot of positive things that you can take from that, but there's a lot of things that they need to work on as well in terms of their accuracy, perhaps their game management as well. But they're positive things to work on, especially for Watsonians. They've won a game that at times they perhaps allowed the team back in, but they still were able to see it out on home turf as well, because it's going to be interesting, because it's a sprint. Home advantage is going to be crucial. You need to win your home games if they've got that many, and it's certainly, I think both teams will be quite happy. Stirling County put up a fight. They've got one of the youngest squads in the Super 6, and that was a huge learning curve for them, but they showed up really, really well, able to stick in the game. But it's Watsonians who ultimately at the end with a last minute kick get the win.
Just a reminder, in this FOSROC Super 6 Sprint Series, the sides only play each other once, so that's 5 games before the league splits into a top 3 and a bottom 3, and then each of those halves play each other again, so only 8 games in total. Of course, we've still got the Super 6, the regular season, to come later in the summer to look forward to as we watch the players go off the pitch. We've had a fair break to get themselves fit, but you're still never quite match fit until you get yourself immersed in something like that.
No, I think a lot of players have been playing their first real competitive fixtures where you can win points in a league for a long time, and after the Super 6 campaign where Ayrshire Bulls beat Southern Knights at the culmination of the last one, this is the Sprint Series, which is a new initiative, and it's a great tester to allow them to get up and running, because there's a lot of players in there that have not that long ago were playing in the Premiership final for their respective teams. Some of them have had a run out at the famous Melrose Sevens as well, so they've been playing rugby. But it's all the continuity and the partnerships that you need to develop on, and it certainly looks like it's a work in progress for both these teams.
Here's some of the action from the game. It's the first try. It was scored by Seb Cecil. Came initially from a line out one by Ian Moody, driven towards the Stirling County line as play broke down. Good work by scrum half Rowan Frostwick is bringing his runners into play, and it was Cecil who went over. Jason Baggett adding the extras with the easiest kick of the afternoon from right out in front. And then Baggett added 2 penalties within the space of a couple of minutes on the 22-minute mark, and then on the 24-minute mark. And at that stage, Watsonians led 13-0, and Stirling County really had never been in the game. However, they worked their way upfield. They were denied a try by their left wing, Logan Trotter, but a moment or two later they did manage to get across the whitewash. Max Williamson, the second row, going over from close range for the Bridge Hawk side, and Ewan Cunningham adding the extras from out in front. And about 7 minutes later, from a line out inside the Watsonians 22, Over went Lewis Skinner, the tight head prop. Both sides driving their lineouts well this afternoon, and a much harder kick there for Ewan Cunningham as he added the extras, which took Stirling County into a 1 point lead at the break, 14 points to 13. But back came Watsonians early in the second half. Lomond McPherson crossing for his side's second try. The ball came out from the breakdown front of the post. Nice little inside ball there from Joe Reynolds as the right winger came round looking for work. Conversion was missed, and then Marcus Holden added a penalty for Stirling County, again to narrow the gap to just the 1 point. Then Watsonians through player of the match, Carl Davis, who looked like he would score from the driving lineup, but as it broke down he got himself back up, snapped up possession and darted over the line.
He had an excellent afternoon. You can just see him looking and craning his neck to try and get it. This one's perhaps a little bit easier for Stirling County. They just the Watsonians jumpers just getting a little bit wrong-footed and not allowing them to contest that. But Cal Davis's try before was excellent.
Angus Fraser, the try scorer there. As you see, the line-out defence not ideal there from Watsonians. Marcus Holden then adding the conversion from out wide, which once again put Stirling County into a 1 point lead. But as we approached injury time at the end of the game, Jason Baggett, with a cool head, managed to stroke over his third penalty, and Watsonians won by that 2 point advantage. So a quick look here at the FOSROC Super 6 Sprint Series table. Ayrshire Bulls seeing off the Boroughmuir Bears last night down at Millbrae, 24 points to 17, winning themselves a bonus point in the process. They lead the way with 5 points at the top of the table. Boroughmuir Bears did pick up a losing bonus point right at the end of the game, so they feature there in fourth place. And then of course our game this afternoon, Watsonians Rugby, Stirling County. Watsonians unable to win themselves a bonus point, so they sit second. Stirling County did get a losing bonus point, so also on one. And still to come this afternoon, Heritage Rugby against Southern Knights, a 4:30 kick-off at Golden Acre.
Yeah, I think you can see how important bonus points are going to be in this campaign. There's not a lot of games, and you know the way league campaigns work, they're always tight after the first few games. So we've got 5 games, and then they're going to split. So you can see there that Ayrshire Bulls picking up a narrow win against Boroughmuir Bears. Watsonians just a little bit tighter against Stirling County. So it shows you how competitive this FOSROC Super 6 campaign is going to be, this sprint series for all these teams, because points are going to be crucial to get them on the board. Perhaps as a reflection of the game management today of both teams, thinking about getting tries, let's try and stretch away from the opposition. So it's going to be a fascinating campaign.
So that's 2 of our 3 games then on the opening weekend of the FOSROC Super 6 Sprint Series, as you saw on screen there. Ayrshire Bulls beating the Boroughmuir Bears 24 points to 17. I say stay with us, because it's not too long until the third of our games with Hugh Dan McLennan and Dale Clancy, who's dashing across town, and we'll summarise for Hugh in that one. Heritage Rugby against the Southern Knights at 4:30 p.m. A great start here for Watsonians on the opening weekend in front of their home crowd at Myreside, as the sun shining now on the pitch there, and they just edged it with that late penalty for Baggett. It finished here, Watsonians 26, Stirling County 24.